Well, hey there, how you doing? Dave Fennoy here, and welcome to another episode of Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. We do it every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, Facebook Live, and you know that because you're here. Every now and then, have to take a little time off, but not today, doggone it, not today. These live after the fact on my YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training, and I need to get into the habit of saying, hey, sign up, subscribe, tell your friends about it, tell them to subscribe. My YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training, where these all live. If you are interested in private coaching with me, or to keep up with where I'll be teaching, or even if you're that kind of fan of my video games and so forth, where I'll be going to conventions and whatnot, you can go to davefennoy.com and sign up on the Study VO tab at the top, and you'll get all kinds of wonderful information. I promise I will not bombard your email with tons and tons of solicitations for anything. A couple things I think you should know about before we get into it with my guest. My guest of last week, Victoria Atkin, is going to be hosting a free understanding video game contract seminar. Now, you'll have to go to her Facebook page, Victoria Atkin, at Atkin, and you'll find it there, and you can sign up. It's absolutely free. It'll be over Zoom. I was asked to be a part of it. Unfortunately, I am otherwise occupied on Saturday, but there are going to be some really good people there to let you know about what's going on with SAG-AFTRA contracts for video games, and you should be interested. Wish I could be there with you, but I can't. But I am here with you now, as is my guest, so let me just say hello to my buddy. What's going on, Randy Morrison?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. And we are going to talk about your baby, which is, it's been born. It's been a little baby, and you breastfed it, and now it's getting a little bigger, and of course I'm talking about Connection Open, and I'm sorry for the metaphors. I have a terrible sense of humor. So
I
how
don't think
did
so.
Connection Open? I'm just going to put it out there. It is an alternative to Source Connect. Source Connect right now is the big bear, the big daddy. But Connection Open has a lot going for it. Tell us how it came about and what makes it so good.
Well, it came about. My brother and I were looking for a way to do things better. It was back during the ISDN days, and we just knew that it could be done better, especially with technology coming along like it does. And it was going to start out as a jam room that we were also going to use as a portal for voiceover, ADR, and dubbing. And we decided that we were just going to go for the ADR dubbing and voiceover because it was less bandwidth needed to do that. We finally got there, and we've been out. We've been in like a soft beta now for 4, 5 years now, just getting every little thing right. And I hate to compare us to the competition because we I think we're better than the competition, and here's why. We're an all-in-one application. So voice, video, super low latency, no compression on your audio, screen sharing. We are able to have as many users on it as you want. If you're going to use a Zoom thing like you already do with the other guys, um, and we're being used by some pretty top shelf people now. So it's good stuff.
Okay, I know what you mean when you say low latency, but others might not, and why it's important. You got two people in, Tierra del Fuego and Ula Bula, and they're 10,000 miles away from each other. Why is latency important?
Well, it's especially important for dubbing because now with the hyper reality of the characters that we voice for, you've got to get that lip flap And this allows you to do that. It is faster than the cell phone. So at that point, I pretty much talk to Portugal and Spain every week, and we're clocking 70 milliseconds.
Okay. And
So
basically, what you're talking about is the time it takes from your voice to get to be heard uh, by the person who is those however many hundreds or thousands of miles away, and
mhm.
you want it to be as fast as possible so that when you are trying, say, to match the video, um, that it's there now, or you don't have to do that thing that we all got used to during the pandemic where the newscast, well, Bob, what's it look like there where you are? And Bob would be standing there. Oh, well, it looks
Go
like,
ahead.
yeah, they finally heard it. That's latency, and the lower the latency, the better. Now, it's got a lot of headroom. It's very clear. How do you get such clarity, and what's the benefit? I mean, we would think it'd be obvious, but from your lips.
Well, the benefit is it's exactly what you would be giving the studio were you on the other side of the glass inside the studio. It is that good.
Mm.
Um,
And
so,
and I know
well,
from my using it that's true.
yeah, we worked on it for an entire hour with you in Los Angeles, me here in Austin, and Uncle Roy out in Passaic,
Oh yeah,
and it was like we were all three in the same room.
yeah. It was
I
it
think you
was
get I think you get work done quicker, faster, better. And the other thing is, it's rock solid. I have heard a lot of horror stories from the others. Like, I was right in the middle of giving that great performance, and it just, you know, and it's not so easy to just pick that up again because you're in that moment and you're really giving the performance, and then something happens, and then you've got to pick it up right from that point. It's not, you know,
yeah.
as good of actors as we are, we not hardly anybody can just jump right back into it.
Now I know
So,
for myself right now, Source Connect is the big dog. I was aware of Source Connect when they first started years and years ago, and it was not ready for prime time when it came out. And it kept getting better, but personally, I didn't really use it until we had to use it when ISDN died, which was a slow death because it was slowly fading away. Um,
mhm,
and then the pandemic hit, and two things happened. One, everybody went on Zoom, and everybody had to get a home studio. And Connection Open. Source Connect was perfectly poised to just take over the market share. The other connection, IPDTL, um,
mhm,
although it's done okay, even it fell pretty much by the wayside. But there have been times for me that Source Connect did not work, and I've a few times that's happened. I have used Connection Open, and my international clients really like Connection Open, and I mean they'll come to me and say, "Oh, we're using Connection Open." And, oh, good, yeah, me too. Um, so what do you think that is? I mean, you're getting more clients right now overseas than you are in the United States.
that is true. They're really hyper aware of quality over there.
What are
I've
you
heard.
trying to say that we're not? Just because we invented McDonald's and fast food and cheap clothes
I
and
hope I hope that didn't sound like a slam, but they are. They're very much audio files and video files over there. And part of the reason is that you can hear it if you're set at 128 or 256 or even 360. You can tell the clarity, and then there's that lack of latency, not that 2 second lag of like you just mentioned with the newscaster. And I think the other thing that they're really liking is Connection Open was built by one of us for all of us. And and what I mean by that is, I thought about all the things that drive me crazy when I'm in session, and I wanted to get rid of those things. One of those things is setup time. You don't have to be an Einstein on your computer to set up connection open. Usually, it from sign up to using is between 5 and 8 minutes, depending on how fast you are on the mouse. Um, we do auto port forwarding, so you don't have to go in and get it all set up and pay a setup fee or anything like that for it. And there are certain clients that don't like auto port forwarding. So now Connection Open allows you from the application to set up the ports right from the application. There's no going to the router or any of that stuff. So we try to make it super easy for the non technical user. But on the other side, it's got plugins for AAX, VST, AU. There are videos to show you how to use it and how to get all your patching done. So we make it super easy so that you can get to work right now.
Speaking of which, let's see. I got Michael Glover. Hi, Randy. Happy to see you here today. Support session with Source Elements. Well, why did you pop under me there? Oh, let me just. Sometimes you have to do things on the fly. I'll just move myself out of the way so we can see the rest of what he had to say. Happy to see you here today. I had a support session with Source Elements this morning regarding my Source Connect port that closes every time I need to reset my modem and router. Does Connection Open have that problem? And I think you just answered that question.
I did. It does not command permanently when you sign in to do Connection Open. The moment that you sign off, it gives up those allowances.
Okay, and Tina Smith there. This makes me so happy as I'm moving to Portugal in a couple of years. Great to know there's a SOID. What does that mean? I missed something.
There's so
A
I
solid?
think there's probably more.
No, that's it. Tina, what were you trying to say? I don't understand. Interesting.
Well, Portugal, by the way, is they do a lot of dubbing for Netflix. So the people that use us over there are primarily the people that are overdubbing for Netflix,
Yeah. Oh, by
and
the way, that was a
they love it.
solid option. For
Got
whatever
it.
reason, I don't know if it was Tina's typing or the hated autocorrect that made that happen, but it does happen. It's interesting. In so many ways, we have some of the worst internet here in terms of speed and connectivity and all those things, and so many other places on the planet. They're doing so much better. And one is Portugal. I was recently in Spain, and the internet was great. And so many of the people I was with were expats who are living in Portugal. I don't know what this is about so many Americans moving away from America, especially in the
It's
last
a very
5 years.
beautiful place, and it's beautiful over there,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
people are really nice.
yeah. So now, if someone signs up for Connection Open, everybody's worried about their wallet right now. How
Hmm.
does that work? What does it cost compared to, say, an Ipdiddle or a Source Connect?
I'm not really paying attention to what they charge, but I know that we're charging less because we have strived so hard to be the better, faster, less expensive version, still offering more than our competitors offer because they don't have video. They don't have a lot of the things that we have. You've got to bring another program into it. And while you're doing that, it's working your chip, it's working your RAM. Connection Open has kind of balanced that super well. That's been years, absolute years of tuning that up. And Connection Open has the advantage that when we started, we did the math and we have two patents on it. So it's not a very sexy name, but our primary patent is synchronization of audio and video signals from remote sources over the internet.
Okay.
And that pretty much explains it.
And I think we could both answer this one. Michael Gelder again. If I'm using Connection Open and the producers are on Source Connect, are they compatible?
We like to play well with others, so we do operate with Source Nexus now.
Uh,
We're about to have a video that comes out so
wait,
that
what? Yeah, how come I didn't know about this? I just knew I was
it's
going to know the answer.
just happened like the last couple of weeks. That's why I haven't been ringing your phone off the hook.
Because you've been busy. Usually
We've
a
been
day, can you?
testing to make sure that it works. Because in our industry, Dave, I think that there's too much of that we're all by ourselves kind of stuff, and I really think that the users of it, uh, they're worried about work, clarity, all of that stuff, and they want it to be rock solid. Because the last thing you need when you're performing is that little devil on your shoulder going, "It's going to mess up. It's going to do this. Going to do that. Why isn't it doing this?" And it takes you out of the moment. Connection Open is that trustable entity that you can rely on,
Okay.
and it doesn't interfere with your performance.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Actually,
I'm
it
going to tell you,
enhances it.
you really just blew my mind there with Source Nexus. And is that up and running, or will it be up and running soon? What? How does
I'm
it work?
hoping to have a video on the application website within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I think you kind of answered this question, but Tina Smith has another one. How quickly can we get rolling with Connection Open? Is it easy to start up?
Like I was saying earlier, from sign up for an account to using it is usually between 5 and 8 minutes. It does a lot of the things for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So you sign up, then it gives you 3 free passes that are good for 24 hours each, and those are like Netflix movies, tick 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 tick, tick for 24 hours once you engage it. Then after that, you have the ability to do a 14-day free trial, and then you can either get into a subscription, or if you're not going to use it more than 2 times a month, buy a day pass for $10. We're not out to pull all the money out of your wallet to give you this really great product. Um, and I think the day pass thing works really well. A lot of the larger studios, especially the guys over in Europe, they buy the executive package, and they get between 30 and 60 passes a month, so that once their clients sign up right before the session, they pop them off a pass, and you can share a pass with your people right from the application. So
Now,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Instead of going back to the application and doing all of that stuff, we've tried to make it that once you sign into Connection Open, you can do pretty much anything there. Let's say you are using your Logitech camera microphone, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh no, that's not what I want to use." While you're in session, you can actually change that without having to stop the session and restart and do all of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, great. Now, um, do you have to have if you send a pass to somebody, Connection Open pass? Do they have to have Connection Open?
Yeah, but the download is literally 1 minute or less, and then you go through the wizard, and it pretty much sets you up. The
Okay.
only thing that
Now,
you really have to
but
go
that
ahead.
person, maybe this is going to be a once in a lifetime thing that they're going to need to use it. Do they have to purchase it for that?
No,
Okay.
everybody that signs up gets that first 3 passes for free,
Okay.
and then after
And the
that,
14-day trial that you can.
right, and then you're in the database. So even if you don't log on for the 14-day free trial, you can still, because we know who you are now, and you can buy a day pass or be given a day pass by the studio.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Or send if you are the artist that wants to send it to that recording studio, you could do it that way. So it could go this
Exactly,
way
and
or
it
that way.
does work in reverse that way too.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I I love this. Michael Glove sold. I will get Connection Open after my next check. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Randy.
Michael, let me tell you that it's our lowest package is $25 a month. That anybody that has a subscription, that's 24/7, and then it gives you extra passes to share with your friends, every month, and you can just shoot them a pass if you want to.
You,
Um, Go to the
so,
website and see. I mean, it's really priced right,
and
really right.
we're. I know you're only going to be with us for a little bit here, so get your other questions and whatnot ready. But before we go, I was on the website today, and I know because I've used it, I'm someone that has done a testimonial. But who are some of the other names that have done testimonials that you can remember off the top of your gray hair?
Well, thanks for that, Dave.
So
Um,
hey,
we
I only a gray hair guy can talk about another guy's gray hair.
um, we started out during the first of the pandemic. The guys from Blue Oyster Cult, for the older rockers in the crowd. Uh, Buck Dharma was in Baltimore. Richie Castellanos. I want to Spanishize that every time I say it. And he's in New York, and Eric Bloom was in deep, dark Florida. So they had some ideas and wanted to get it out, but none of them could travel to be with each other. So Connection Open is fast enough so that it appears we haven't broken the laws of physics, but it appears like it's instantaneous. We have been used by a member of a super group that had the longest album ever on the Billboard 100. I think it was 37 years.
What
So,
album was that?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, ooh. Just another brick in the
So,
wall.
yeah, there's some pretty top shelf people. My buddy Rob Paulson, Pinky of Pinky and the Brain, Yakko on the Animaniacs, Ninja Turtle Twice Over, the Honda Mr. Opportunity guy. I mean, and one of the nicest people on the planet.
That he is. That he
And
truly is.
I love him to pieces. And then our new favorite friend is Corey Burton, the
Ah,
voice of Cad Bane on the Star Wars world. Also, WWE and voice of FX as well. So he will use nothing but Connection Open. And get this, um, he doesn't have a laptop or a desktop. So he does all of his sessions on the iPad version, which is the only one that's truly designed to go wireless. But yeah, set him up, got him going in 20 minutes on his home studio setting. And now he just tells the studios that I'm only going to use Connection Open because it's something that he can trust.
yeah.
Once again, we're back. He and I have had a lot of conversation about that. When you're performing, if you're interrupted by technical glitches and stuff like that, it kind of it puts a little bit of a pall on what you're doing. And
Pulls you out of
we
yourself, out of your, gives you something else that you're worried about, and whatever is in your head is coming out in your voice.
well, we try and be better than that, but still, I get affected by it when it's and you get none of that. I had a lady call me from Houston the other day, in well, it's been about a couple of weeks, but she was out on the road with her daughters. They're doing the road show for Frozen, and they were trying one of our competitors. And her daughter, who's in the show, she has two daughters in the show actually, and one of them lost a gig because of the fact they couldn't get the other thing to work, and all they have is a MacBook Air. Now, Connection Open likes for you to be plugged into your router if you're on a laptop or a desktop. But we have worked very, very hard on connecting through 5G now. So if you have, and most hotels do now have 5G routers, and I got her set up in, I timed it 7 minutes. And we talked for about a half an hour, not a tick, a glitch, or anything. I was so happy because she called me back and said she booked it. We did the session. It was great. The studio didn't know about you guys. Now they do.
Oh, fantastic. And let's see, Linda Baker here. Passes are a great option, so much more affordable than I thought. Very good news all the way around. Ta da!
We thought so too, because to have to buy the application outright and pay for upgrades and, pay for them having to set you up if you're not really, good on your computer. That's just, it's taking too much out of your wallet.
Oh yeah,
And
and the constant learning curve. We are in that world now where there's every month or two there's something new you've got to learn. Listen, when I was on the website today and looking over some of the people who use it, and you only named a few, and some of the people that you did not name aren't necessarily names that we would know because they are engineers in various studios around the planet. But I'm surprised you didn't mention our buddy Dave Courvoisier there in
oh,
Vegas. Uh,
yeah.
and Dave, not only having been a newsman, a news broadcaster, and voiceover talent for what 40 years now in Vegas,
Not that. Hmm.
and but he really is a technical guy. He gets into the microphones and the technology that they're using, and if you can get him to try it out and give it the thumbs up, it says a lot.
Actually, Dave has been a great ambassador for Connection Open, but he's also been somebody that we have passed. He's tested with us a lot, and been very frank about, well, I don't like this, that. It's hard to understand. You should do that, and we do that with pretty much anybody that sends us a note. We listen to what you're saying, and if we can make it better for you, that's what we do. I mean, I think that some of the other people that are out there, they just kind of go in and change the oil in the air filter every once in a while. And Connection Open is constantly under that hood. We treat it like a race car,
Mm.
and it is fine tuned every single week. And
Well,
we do a lot behind the scenes, so you don't have to.
people who have listened to me since I've been doing this know, especially before the pandemic and as we were getting into it, I was talking about Connection Open, and I was doing a lot of work with you guys as well, a lot of testing, and it would get better, and then you'd find a glitch, and it would get better, and we'd find a glitch and get better, and right now, and for the oh gosh, I'd say for the past year at least, it's just been pristine. I've got somebody here, John Sprecht. Can you please repeat the particulars for those who joined late? Mostly prices. Thank you.
Okay, basically we have three subscription rates: $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month. Plus, if you buy for the year, you get 12 months for the price of 10, and we double the amount of passes that you get. Um, Day passes are $10 each. When you first sign up, everybody who first signs up gets three free 24-hour passes to use it. And then if you like it after that, you can sign up for the 14-day free trial to make sure you really like it.
Yeah, and the passes don't expire.
No, every if you do not use your passes in that month, they roll over to the next month.
So if
So they
say you
never go
didn't
away.
use it for 1 month, those you just end up collecting extra passes to use the following month.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's kind of good. I like that. I like that. Before I let you go, let's see. Let's see. Michael Glover, can I sell my Source Connect to somebody or trade it like a cell phone asking for a friend? No, when you said, can
Uh,
I sell, it was a dead giveaway. Um,
we
and
would just
this
very much
this
appreciate.
you might not want to hear this out of my mouth, but I actually think you're smart to have both Source Connect and Connection Open. Um, Sometimes you're going to be in that situation, and of course now the Source Nexus that you mentioned is kind of a game changer for that. Um, but because of the pandemic and what happened with Source Connect, that it became the default service.
Mhm.
Um, I think a lot of times you're going to be asked if you have that. And there are some people like Corey Burton maybe even myself who can say, I'm sorry, but I'm only working with Connection Open. Uh, but for most people, you're going to have to
You don't
go,
get a choice to tell
yeah,
them what you want to
yeah,
use.
yeah,
So in that case, and I can speak to this from for all of the Connection Open staff, is that we want you to use what works for you and you're making money on. If it's us this time, great. If it's not us this time, that's okay.
yeah, yeah. I think the quality speaks for itself. Um, and frankly, the only thing you need is more money to do more promotion and let more people know about it. The things that I hear from the engineers that I've worked with, they're a little mind blown by the quality. Uh, and I would say this: Connection Open's quality is pristine. Source Connect is good enough. Nobody
It
is
really
going to.
does not fly in Europe. I think once people discover it, they will use it. And the other thing why we have worked so hard to play well with others is you've already bought that product.
Yeah.
So why not continue to use it if that's what they're asking for? So by using the Nexus, you could basically be on connection open and go right into their side through the Nexus.
Yeah. Well, okay. Don't have any more questions on that. I can't think of another question right now, but um, if people are interested in Connection Open, and they should be, what's the website again?
www.connectionopen.com.
www.connectionopen.com. Well, coolness,
Right.
my friend. And
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I appreciate you more than words can say.
well, I'm just going to tell the truth. I've been trying to get you on here to talk about this for a while, and you've been ducking. But
Busy. We've been very busy. We are trying to make this thing perfect, and we're kind of those people a little OCD on quality. Um, and because we're very very close to it, we can hear everything.
yeah,
So if it's got any kind of problem with it, we're on it, and we will stay up day and night until we make sure there's not a problem anymore.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Morrison, Connection Open the product. I hope you will give it a try. And Randy, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dave.
All the best. And hello, everybody. And we're going to continue if you have some thoughts, questions on anything voiceover. And going away note there, Micah B side. That's so cute, Micah B side, as opposed to the A side back when we had records and you could flip them. And there's a lot of people that are too young to understand exactly why that's a good joke. Living in the mountains with spotty internet and even cell phone connections. I'll be looking into this. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, voiceover. What's going on in your voiceover career? What's working for you? What's not working for you? What is it that you'd like to do that you're not doing? Do you have that agent that you want? Are you talking? Do you have an agent and having problems with communication with that agent? And the problem being maybe you're a little nervous about contacting them and telling them what it is you want. What's going on in your career? What kinds of things are you doing? What's the most difficult thing for you? What's the most difficult genre that you're working in? Are you somebody that is using the pay-to-play sites and not getting anywhere? Or maybe you're on Fiverr and you're doing a lot of work that you're just not feeling this work. What's going on with you? You can reach out right now. Click in and let's talk about it. Going back to Micah B here, B side. The best songs are always on the B side, LOL. Well, you know what? There's a lot of great B side songs. That's for damn sure. Camille Wyatt, I need an agent, and you need to give me more than that, Camille. What are you doing to get an agent? And I had a conversation with a new student of mine, an interesting guy. I'm not going to use his name right now, but he was living in Hawaii, and I had be- become aware of him at some point. He does things on YouTube, and I followed him because of some interesting things he was doing on YouTube. But I hadn't really checked in with him since clicking the follow. Do you ever do that? You say, "Oh wow, this is an interesting guy. Let me follow him," and then you never do. Never tune in again. But he wanted to take some voiceover lessons, and I said, "Well, what is it that you do? How can I help? What area of voiceover are you going into?" And he says, "Well, I have YouTube channels. I share information with people about all kinds of things. So I have several YouTube channels, and in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been able to retire from work. And I just do this. I'm living in Hawaii now, but I'm only going to be here for a year or two, and then I'm moving someplace, and then I'm moving someplace else." Um, and the thing that he wants to do is to be able to take information that is out there that is not necessarily licensed and package it himself for his YouTube channels. And he needed help with narration and how to take the words off the page, which once again just let me know there are so many opportunities out there for voiceover. This is not something I ever would have thought of. You see the TikTok videos, you hear the stories about the people who are making X amount of dollars, retiring from regular jobs and doing TikTok, doing YouTube, doing those kind. Well, it really is happening. And I'm mentioning that not to say, "Oh, this is something I want to do," or something that I think you should do, but that you never know where you're going to need to know how to do voiceover. Need to be able to, as I call it, and this is one of the things I told him, voiceover is translating the written word into the spoken word. They're not quite the same thing. All right, let me see. Tina Smith, what do you have to say? I'm about to dive into voices.com, and I'm a little nervous about what rates to put up for jobs. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of voices.com. I think they're that close to being crooks. Yeah, I said it right here. I said it out loud. Because of some of their practices, I don't believe these have changed. A client comes to them and says, "I'm going to let you curate this project. I've got $10,000 for voiceover talent." Well, when they put it out, you're bidding. Maybe you bid $1,000, you get the job, but instead of getting paid the $1,000 you bid, you're going to get paid $800 because they're going to collect $200, 20% for handling the transactions. But Dave, what about the other part of that $10,000, that $9,000 that they were willing to put up, but they're not now? Well, guess who takes that? They do. And you're paying them to be on the site, and there are levels. So if you're paying more money, if you're a $2,500 a year person or a $5,000 a year person, you're going to get auditions first, and you're going to be pushed to the front of the line. I'm old school. I know it's a feature of voiceover now. I'm just not a fan. But if you can make it work for you, most people don't. I wish you the best. Todd Weekly, what's going on? Another long hair guy. Love it. GVA has useful rate sheet with good recommendations. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a question that comes up a lot. I would send you to two places, GVAA, Global Voiceover Academy, or to SAG-AFTRA. You can go to the SAG-AFTRA website and look up what rates are for various types of jobs that are covered under SAG-AFTRA. Unfortunately, not everything is covered just yet, but hopefully, we can begin to get back to an America where the majority of workers are union workers, or at least the majority of workers who are working for somebody else, because it looks like we're heading for a world with a higher percentage of entrepreneurs than we have now, or that we used to have. Not necessarily the people who are becoming billionaires, but the people who are doing affiliate marketing and YouTube channels and TikTok and various ways of making money that weren't available to any of us 10, 20 years ago. Gravy for the brain. Well, yeah, that's another place out there that you can find work and rates and so forth. Todd Weekly again, I strongly advocate for non-union people to push really hard to get rates as close to union rates as possible. Absolutely. We as an industry have been in a big fight. From when I got in the business to now, rates were going down. The amount of work that was union work, especially commercials and whatnot, was going down. And really, there was no reason for it other than the greed of the people who hire us. So often we are talking about major corporations, automobile manufacturers, banks, insurance companies, places that making money oil companies, making money hand over fist, and we are living in the same world as everybody else. Over the past 50 years, there's been a real attack on working people. I keep seeing stories on television, news stories. We're talking about the inflation right now, and the packages getting smaller with less stuff in it. Well, this has been going on for years. Meanwhile, the CEOs, the 1%, the billionaire class is growing. They're getting richer and richer. They've had 1,000% raise over the last 50 years. We, not so much. And, there are times I don't want to get on those rants about we, the working people. And I say this in the full knowledge that I do very, very well. I live in a great house in a great neighborhood. I have cars and trucks. Well, cars and truck. I was always able to send my kids to private school. I'm not saying this from a point of downtrodden working class, gee, if I could only make enough to eat and so forth. But the working class includes a much wider variety of salaries or amounts of money than one might consider. You get over that $500,000 a year range, and that's a little different stratosphere. And some of us do make that kind of money in voiceover. It still doesn't put us in the 1% class. All right, Camille Wyatt, I use Voice 123, and I have 2 great demos, and I have taken classes with CDs and agents. Very smart, very smart. I have booked and with repeat clients. Is there a best way to reach out to or to solicit for representation? Well, just what you told me, Camille, just what you told me are very important things that you need. And what? Randy Morrison is trying to call me. I'll call you back later, Randy. You've got you're taking classes, so you have some agents that know you, and you possibly can get a letter of recommendation from some people. You've booked and have repeat clients. So you can tell these agents, well, I have this repeat business, I'm doing this, because guess what? They like the idea that A, you're already making money, and B, maybe you can turn those clients over to your agent to handle, and they get that percentage of money and help keep you working. I promise you, if you're making money, agents, you're the kind of person an agent wants to talk to. You're easy. Somebody that just did their first demo really isn't going. Maybe they have great talent and the demo's great, but they haven't done anything yet. They're taking a chance. You are less of a chance if you've been working already. All right. Sylvain. Wovo is also pushing to get the right rates. And you know what? And this is wonderful because all over the country now, I think I'm seeing voiceover group after voiceover group after voiceover group, if not suggesting and fighting for you to get into the union, are fighting for you to have better wages. And we need to cooperate with one another. For a long time, it's been, if you were Fiverr or some of the people on some of the pay-to-play sites, just to get in, just to have that work, people were willing to take next to nothing. Well, there's an old saying, you do get what you pay for. Have respect for yourself as a voiceover artist. You are a professional. Not everybody can do what we do. It is a very unique talent and skill, and I use both of those words. You may have talent for it, but you need to develop the skill to do it. Anybody else got anything? Because if not, it's close enough to 7 o'clock. I could just, pop out of here and go get some dinner. So let me kind of start wrapping this up. If another good question, another good topic comes up, I'll jump into it. But just a reminder, all the Ask Dave Fennoy anythings live on my YouTube channel, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training. And I'm going to get in the habit of asking you to subscribe and tell your friends about it. And if you are interested in voiceover training with me, you can sign up at davefennoy.com and also book yourself for 1, 5, 10, or 20 classes, sessions. And of course, you buy in bulk, you save money. And although most people know me for video games, I do teach all aspects of voiceover. I will usually, for just animation, I would probably send you to somebody else. Maybe Everett Alver. But for everything else, I work with beginners. I like to be able to give you a good, solid base and a good approach for handling copy. People who are coming out of, say, radio and need to learn not to be this guy, but to come off as a real person as opposed to that radio thing that we always used to get. I've helped quite a few of those people become real. And even actors who are on camera, who are looking to do animation and video games, once again, not so much the animation, but more the video games, who need to learn how do I bring that on-camera theatrical, those skills to a medium where it seems like it's only words on a page and a microphone, because it's not. It's more than that. But how to take the skills you already have to bring the same kind of vocal performances you produce when you're on camera and moving and in costume and working with another actor. All right. That said, Todd Weekly said, oh, wait a minute. Before that, you said, any thoughts on Crunchyroll opting to hire only Texas local talent? You know what? I am not aware of that. This is not something I knew about. I'll have to look that up, and maybe next week we'll talk about it a little bit. Crunchyroll opting to hire only Texas local talent. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. If they're in Texas, maybe they only want to hire people that are in that state. It's only one company. Right off the top of my head, maybe they're hurting themselves more than they're hurting anybody else. Crunchyroll is only going to hire so many people to do voiceover. So I don't think it's really going to have one way or the other that much impact on the market. I'll leave it with that. Ellery King, always pure gold, man. Thank you, D. It is my pleasure. You have no idea how much I enjoy doing this with you guys. My mother used to tell me all the time, son, you should be a teacher. And she was a school teacher. Like, I am not bringing home all those papers. I'm not putting together lessons plans. I'm not doing this. And since I started teaching, about 10 years ago or so, uh, I've learned to love it. And since I started doing this, I've learned to love it, love connecting with you guys. So, anyway, that wraps up another Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. Lives on YouTube, Dave Fennoy Voiceover Training. For private lessons or to keep up with me, sign up at davefennoy.com. I will see you next week. In the meantime, and in between time, book something.